When you were running for president, you flat out denied having a relationship with Rael Hunter. Did you give me a truthful answer? Were you telling the truth then?
Yes.
Has you or your campaign provided any financial support to Rael Hunter or Andrew Young? Has you or anyone affiliated with your presidential campaign provided any financial help to Rael Hunter or Andrew Young?
I have no idea what you're asking about. I've responded consistently to these tabloid allegations by saying I don't respond to these lies, and you know that, Raylene, you covered me, and I stand by that.
In 2006, I made a serious error in judgment and conducted myself in a way that was disloyal to my family and to my core beliefs. I recognized my mistake and told my wife that I had a liaison with another woman, and I asked her for forgiveness. Although I was honest in every painful detail with my family, I did not tell the public. When a supermarket tabloid told a version of the story, I used the fact that the story contained many falsities to deny it. But being 99% honest is no longer enough. I was and am ashamed of my conduct and choices, and I had hoped that it would never become public. With my family, I took responsibility for my actions in 2006, and today I take full responsibility publicly. But that misconduct took place for a short period in 2006. It ended then. I am and have been willing to take any test necessary to establish the fact that I am not the father of any baby, and I am truly hopeful that a test will be done so this fact can be definitively established. I only know that the apparent father has said publicly that he is the father of the baby. I also have not been engaged in any activity of any description that requested, agreed to, or supported payments of any kind to the woman or to the apparent father of the baby. It is inadequate to say to the people who believed in me that I am sorry, as it is inadequate to say to the people who love me that I am sorry. In the course of several campaigns, I started to believe that I was special and became increasingly egocentric and narcissistic. If you want to beat me up, feel free. You cannot beat me up more than I have already beaten up myself. I have been stripped bare and will now work with everything I have to help my family and others who need my help. I have given a complete interview on this matter, and having done so, will have nothing more to say.
The Edwards story has been fodder of the National Enquirer for more than a year, and the headlines show why. A presidential candidate and former U.S. Senator with a cancer-stricken wife has an affair and, according to the tabloid, fathers a child with this woman, a campaign consultant named Rael Hunter. John Edwards had dismissed the National Enquirer allegations. This is what he said just last month in New Orleans.
I have no idea what you're asking about. I've responded consistently to these tabloid allegations by saying I don't respond to these lies, and you know that, Raylene, you covered me, and I stand by that.
The pressure had been mounting on Edwards for several weeks since news stories appeared about a confrontation with the National Enquirer here at the Beverly Hilton Hotel last month. On July 21st, the former senator was in Los Angeles raising awareness for the homeless. That night, National Enquirer reporter Alex Hitchen was waiting for Edwards at the hotel. The paper says it had a tip Edwards, Rael Hunter, and Hunter's baby were meeting in a room. At 2:40 in the morning, Hitchens says he surprised Edwards as Edwards was trying to leave.
I say to him, Mr. Edwards, Alexander Hitchen from the National Enquirer, you know, we know that you've been with Rael Hunter tonight and your child. And then we said to him, don't you think it's about time to actually tell everyone that you are actually the father of this child?
And the reaction again was
sheer panic.
Hitchens says Edwards did not say a word. Instead, he ran down the stairs into this bathroom in the basement and held the door shut. According to ABC News, Edwards now admits he did go to the hotel that night and did meet Rael Hunter, as the Enquirer has reported. Wednesday, the tabloid turned up the heat on Edwards, publishing this blurry photograph, a photo the paper claims was shot in the Beverly Hilton Hotel during the encounter. The paper says the baby in the picture is Edwards. But is it? Edwards told ABC News the child could not be his because of the timing of the birth. But the former senator says he wants to take a paternity test to prove he's not the father. This man, Andrew Young, an Edwards campaign staffer, said last year he is the father, not Edwards. Still, the child's birth certificate adds to the intrigue. The name of the child's father is left blank. John Edwards was a former North Carolina senator. John Kerry's 2004 running mate, and this year, a populist candidate for president.
But ABC News had reported that they met in a bar, and then all of a sudden she starts working for the campaign and starts to get paid by the campaign. Do we know if the affair began before she started working for the campaign, or if it began and then she got the job? I mean,
the nitty-gritty details of how this all went down, we don't know. What we do know is that at a bar meeting, suddenly this woman who has very, very little experience, practically no experience on any campaign, in fact, she doesn't even vote. She says she voted twice in her life, is suddenly producing these web videos for John Edwards' campaign, somehow convincing him that she is going to change his image. She gets paid $114,000 to produce these videos and travel across the world suddenly on this campaign. And again, with really no credentials. This is a guy running for president, Anderson. He surrounds himself with pretty high-end political people in this country. And here's this woman he meets at a bar suddenly chasing him around the world.
And that money is coming from donations to his political action committee.
That's correct. That money is coming from the campaign. Now, we should make clear that tonight the other money that is being paid to Rael Hunter is coming from this attorney privately, he says.
All right. Her story, as Drew Griffin reported, has been extensively covered in the pages of the National Enquirer. Editor-in-Chief David Perell joins us now. David, you've been working on the story since October, I think, of 2007. A couple of weeks ago, your paper actually caught Edwards and Rael Hunter in this hotel together. How did that come about? Tell me about it.
Well, Anderson, we had advance information from some of the sources we've developed as we've worked this and reported on the affair that they had been meeting secretly, but we wanted to catch him in the act because he had already issued such a vociferous denial, denouncing us publicly and calling us liars when we knew at the Enquirer that he was the one who was lying. So when we got the information, we set up a team of reporters and photographers, and we waited for him. And sure enough, just as our information said, he showed up. We watched him go in the hotel. We watched him go up to the 2 rooms that were rented by Bob McGovern for himself and Rael Hunter. We watched him spend time in those rooms with Rael and the baby. And then at 2:40, he came downstairs and he got off the elevator in the basement.
No, wait, I'm sorry. You said you watched him spend time in those rooms, meaning you were inside those rooms?
No, I did not mean that. I meant we saw him go in the room, and we know he did not come out of the room, and we know that Rael and the baby was in the room as well. And then at 2:40, he came downstairs in the basement via elevator, doors open, our reporters were there and attempted to question him. And frankly, I think that's why he's come out and admit it, because the evidence is just too overwhelming. He couldn't escape out of this one.
And as your reporter told Drew Griffin, he ran into the bathroom and hid there.
He ran into the bathroom and pushed the door shut and wouldn't let the reporters in who were still trying to question him. And finally, security came and escorted him out of the hotel.
He maintains he is not the father of Rael Hunter's child, willing to take a paternity test to prove it. Why are you so sure that the baby is his?
Well, Rael Hunter is sure that the baby is his. Rael Hunter, according to the sources we've developed during this investigation, Rael Hunter has said she never had a sexual relationship with Andrew Young, the man who has claimed paternity. And it all looks like it's part of a big cover-up. And now we've learned today, as you saw, that money is being funneled to Rael Hunter, which the Enquirer reported last week, $15,000 a month by Fred Barron. And we also could tell you that we've uncovered evidence money is being funneled to Mr. Young as well.
Now, the statement from Fred Barron saying or implied that at least that the money had, in the past tense, that it had been given for her to get out of town after the initial speculation began a long time ago. You're saying you have evidence that money continues to be?
Indeed. And in fact, I can tell you that Mr. Young is living in a $5.4 million house with no visible means of support and no nest egg, and that Rael Hunter is also living in a multi-million-dollar house right now with no job and no visible means of support.
Elizabeth Edwards released a statement, as you know, tonight. I want to read part of it to you. She says, because of a recent string of hurtful and absurd lies in a tabloid publication, because of a picture falsely suggesting that John was spending time with a child it wrongly alleged he had fathered outside our marriage, our private matter can no longer be wholly private. How do you respond to that?
We're sorry that John Edwards betrayed her. We're sorry that John Edwards betrayed his country. But the man was running for president and lying about an affair, and he could have blown up the Democratic Party if he had gotten the nomination. So it needs no further explanation.